All right, since the last time the last video, I did the opposite side of my fish. So I've got my scale design on the opposite side. I've wrapped it up in plastic overnight just so that it wouldn't dry out. Okay. One thing that I am noticing is that it is getting very fragile. And what I mean by that is, especially back here, I don't know if you guys can see that in the video, but back here at the tail, as I lift it up and I'm moving it around, that tail bends and back and forth a bunch of times, and it's getting really weak in a sense. So I want to be really careful with that so that it doesn't bend anymore as I take this out of the plastic bag. And as I'm moving it around. So I just have to be very careful with it. Now, one thing I wanted to show you guys, as soon as I can get this out of here, is that flipping it over tends to put a lot of strain on the tail. And you can see this tail kind of bending and flipping around like that. But one thing I wanted to show you, it's a cute little trick, is I've got my big board, I've got my fish. If I take another big board and I set it on top of it, okay, what I can do, hopefully this will show on the video, is I take it like this, I flip it over, it'll go on a new board, but now I've got it on the other side, okay? So cute little trick, fun, easy thing to do, but just something to, kind of consider as you're doing this. Now, as the clay dries, it's also going to change what the textures look like a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of go back and maybe just go back over this as I've been working on this. Either my hands have touched it or maybe the board or the plastic bag. And you can see in a couple of spots here and here where it's kind of flattened out. I can just go back with my comb and redo this since this is still fairly soft. It's leather hard, but it's a little bit softer than leather hard, which is good for what I need to do with it. All right. I forgot which side's the top. I think that's the top, but I'm gonna go with it. If I reference back to my picture, okay, that's where I'm gonna see what the little side fins are, and then the eye, and then the mouth, and then the gills here. We wanna give it enough detail to where it looks realistic, but it's not that critical, but we do want it to at least look like a fish in that sense. Now, the one that I chose has a bunch of long, stringy kind of fins that hang down like that. I'm not gonna do that just because they're going to be really fragile. They're going to break really easy. So in my sense, it's, really not worth it. Okay. So at least it's not worth the risk of it possibly breaking. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of touch these up on this side, and then we'll get into making the eyes and that sort of thing.